Breaking news! Imagine going into a preseason game expecting nothing more than a routine debut from a rookie quarterback buried deep in the draft, and leaving wondering if you saw the future of the franchise. That's exactly what happened when Shedeur Sanders took the field for the Browns against the Panthers. In just 2 quarters, this 5th-round pick, who was supposed to be a low-key project for the future, turned heads with plays so precise and so well-balanced that they could have shaken the entire quarterback competition in Cleveland. And trust me, the story as it happened is one you'll want to hear every last detail. But before we continue, hit the like button if you're a fan and have believed in the Cleveland Browns for over 20 years. It's great to see fans of all ages. There are people here who were at the first game. If possible, comment like this: "Let's go Browns! Let's go to the Super Bowl!" It wasn't a perfect start. The first quarter saw him make a few questionable choices, including a chaotic 4th and 1 play where he was chased nearly 20 yards backward before throwing wildly to the sideline. But even in those moments, there was a sense of composure. The real fireworks came when he got rolling, delivering 2 pinpoint touchdown passes to Caden Davis, both with the kind of accuracy and touch that made him a star in college. The first score came after Panthers rookie Trevor Etienne muffed a punt deep in Carolina territory. Nathaniel Watson pounced on the loose ball, giving Sanders a short field. After a quick run play to close the quarter, Sanders stepped in and zipped a perfect throw to Davis to tie the game at 7. His second touchdown was even more impressive. Midway through the second quarter, on a 5-play, 60-yard drive, Sanders found himself flushed out of the pocket. On the run, he spotted fellow rookie Luke Floria streaking along the sideline. Sanders lofted a 30-yard floater that Floria somehow hauled in with one hand right in front of the Panthers bench. That play kept the drive alive, and moments later, Sanders once again connected with Davis, this time from 12 yards out. At halftime, his stat line read 11 of 18 for 103 yards and 2 touchdowns, but the numbers only told part of the story. He looked confident, he looked sharp, and he looked like he belonged. By the time Tyler Huntley, signed just days earlier, came in to replace him late in the third quarter, Sanders had played 45 snaps across 10 series with 3 different offensive line groups. He finished 14 of 23 for 138 yards, 2 scores, and 19 rushing yards. For a 5th-round pick making his first NFL appearance, those numbers would have been solid enough. But paired with the poise he showed under pressure and the way he commanded the huddle, they became something more, a statement. And here's where it gets interesting. This performance came at a time when Cleveland's QB depth chart was already in flux. Kenny Pickett and Dylan Gabriel are both sidelined with hamstring injuries, which opened the door for Sanders to get extra reps in practice. Gabriel, the higher draft pick, was expected to compete for QB3, maybe even push for the backup role. But with both him and Pickett out, Sanders got his chance and made the most of it. Now, the long-term project label suddenly feels outdated. It wasn't all good news for Cleveland, though. The win over Carolina came with a price. 2 young receivers, Luke Floria and Gage Larvadain, both left the game with injuries. Floria, a hometown kid fighting for a roster spot, had already made the highlight reel with that stunning one-handed grab from Sanders. He tweaked his hamstring in the first half but kept playing for another quarter before walking to the locker room under his own power. Larvadain, who had been one of camp's pleasant surprises, exited in the 4th quarter with a lower leg issue. Fortunately, early indications are that neither injury is serious, and both players should be back in the mix soon. Even in limited action, both rookies flashed potential. Floria's long catch went for 30 yards, the longest offensive play of the day, while Larvadain caught 2 passes for 23 yards and added a rushing touchdown on a fly sweep near the goal line. Those contributions helped the Browns secure a commanding 30-10 preseason win. For 2 undrafted rookies fighting to make the roster, moments like these matter. And for Sanders, having receivers step up in key moments only made his debut shine brighter. But make no mistake, the real headline here is how Sanders turned a quiet training camp role into the start of what could be one of Cleveland's biggest preseason storylines. The Browns drafted him with the 144th overall pick thinking he'd have time to develop. Yet here he is, in his first NFL half, showing the same accuracy, pocket awareness, and play-extending ability that made him dangerous in college. Yes, it came against Carolina's 2nd and 3rd defensive units, but you can't teach the composure he displayed when things broke down. And that's the kind of quality that forces coaches to reevaluate plans. The ripple effects of this debut go beyond just one preseason box score. Inside the Browns building, quarterback depth chart discussions just got a whole lot more complicated. Before Friday night, the plan seemed simple. Joe Flacco as the trusted veteran starter, Kenny Pickett as the likely backup once healthy, and Dillon Gabriel, the team's third-round pick, developing as the future option. Sanders was there to learn, observe, and maybe get mop-up duty late in meaningless games. But when fifth-round rookie comes in and plays with the decisiveness, accuracy, and control that Sanders displayed, the conversation changes. What stood out most wasn't just the touchdowns, though they were impressive. It was how Sanders handled the chaos around him. On the play that set up his second scoring drive, he rolled right with a defender in hot pursuit, kept his eyes downfield, and delivered the jaw-dropping 30-yard toss to Luke Floria. That's not the kind of throw you expect from a rookie in his first NFL snaps. That's a throw you expect from a quarterback who's been in the league for years and understands how to make something out of nothing. The touch, the placement, the awareness of where his receiver was going to be, all of it screamed next-level poise. And yet, this wasn't just a highlight reel debut. Sanders had to grind through series where the offense stalled, where Carolina's pressure got to him, and where drives ended with nothing to show for it. But each time, he came back to the huddle looking the same, calm, collected, ready for the next play. That unshakable demeanor is exactly what coaches look for when deciding which quarterbacks they can trust, and it's a big reason why this game may have earned Sanders more snaps moving forward. Of course, preseason can be deceptive. We've all seen players shine in August only to fade once the regular season begins. The difference here is that Sanders is getting valuable live reps at a time when the Browns' quarterback room is thin due to injuries. That means the coaching staff has no choice but to evaluate him seriously, not just as a practice squad candidate, but as someone who might need to step in during the season. And that's a massive leap from where he stood just a week ago. It's also worth noting the chemistry Sanders showed with Caden Davis. Davis, who joined the Browns practice squad late last year, came into this preseason fighting for his own roster spot. 2 touchdowns in one half, both coming from Sanders, is the kind of connection that doesn't go unnoticed. Those aren't just stats. Those are building blocks for trust between a young quarterback and a receiver who knows what it's like to fight for every snap. Meanwhile, the injuries to Floria and Larvadain serve as a reminder of how quickly fortunes can change in the NFL. One moment you're making the catch of the day, the next you're heading to the locker room with trainers. Thankfully, both appear to have avoided major setbacks, but they'll need to get back quickly to keep making their case for a roster spot. For Floria, the local rookie, moments like that one-handed snag are exactly what can tip the scales in his favor. For Larvadain, showing he can contribute as both a receiver and a rusher is huge for his versatility case. The 30-10 win over Carolina might not mean much in the standings, but it could have ripple effects on the Browns' roster construction over the next month. With Pickett and Gabriel sidelined, Flacco firmly entrenched, and Huntley just arriving, Sanders' emergence adds a fascinating wrinkle. If he keeps playing like this, the Browns might have to make room for him higher on the depth chart, even if it means some tough decisions about who stays and who goes. And then there's the bigger picture. For fans, this is the kind of preseason storyline that's pure gold. It's one thing to see a rookie flash talent. It's another to watch him step into an unexpected opportunity and look like he belongs right away. Sanders didn't just fill in. He made people sit up and take notice. For a 5th-round pick, that's how you change your career trajectory in real time. So now, as the Browns move deeper into the preseason, the question becomes whether Sanders can sustain this level of play. The defenses will get tougher. The windows will get tighter. But if Friday night was any indication, he's ready for the challenge. And for a fan base that's always hungry for hope and excitement, that's exactly the kind of story that keeps you glued to every snap. Browns fans, drop your thoughts below. Is Shedeur Sanders for real, or are we getting ahead of ourselves after one preseason half? Should he be moving up the depth chart right now? Let's hear it, because this quarterback conversation just got a lot more interesting. And if you're ready to follow every twist and turn of this battle, hit that like button and make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss a thing.